What's good, YouTube? So this video has been checked for safety. Obviously, you see the video, I'm posting it, but here I'm showing y'all. Somebody asked me what's the difference between a semi-automatic and a revolver, and which one do I prefer? So we're gonna get into that. But this here is a Taurus Model 85 38 Special 5-shot hammer style. All right, nothing in it. You can see her right there. She's beautiful. She has the rubber grip, just like my the one I call Terminator steel. I got another one, Terminator steel, and that one is stainless steel, nickel plated, if you want to call it. But it's a nice piece as well. And we have the Taurus G2C. All right, chambered in 9mm. Nothing in her. And the 38. The Taurus Model 38 is chambered in 38 Special. So let's just jump into that. Let me get into this. What do I prefer, semi-automatic or a revolver? Honestly, I can choose to carry either one. I'm good with either one of them. But for somebody that has never shot a revolver, you can always rent one at your local gun store. Or if you just say, look, I'm hell-bent on buying a revolver, train with that revolver first. I will say something about a revolver that's very important and a lot of people probably never speak on. Depending on the revolver that you have. So right here you have a revolver with a hammer. You see that? This is what goes back and hits the firing pin, not the firing pin, but this goes back and hits the primer on your round, and it makes the round go off. So with a hammer style, hitting this bullet that's in this cylinder, this hammer, when you are holstering this, so right now I'll pull out a holster. Some holsters are different, so let's just say I had this in this holster right here. All right. Now y'all see it down in that holster. It fits this holster well, by the way. I've carried this in this holster plenty of times. But when you carry these guns in different holsters, and depending on how you got it, some people got the clips, you got to be careful, because when you pick this up, all right, when you pick up on this, all right, or you putting this down in, depending on how you doing it, you can snag this hammer, okay? And if you snag that hammer, and that hammer goes back and then it gets off the snag, this is going to let go and it's going to hit that round. And you don't want an accidental discharge. So having a revolver, this hammer can accidentally get pulled, y'all. Trust me, I've seen people put them in their waistbands and go like this, and it got a snag because you have the skateboard rough texture right here on the hammer right here. So this can snag something, your shirt, belt clip, your pants. When you putting that down in there, it pull up just a little bit, and then if it get released, boom, it's going to go off. I've seen people put them in their pockets, go in the pocket, and this could get snagged, and this will go off. Now, we're not talking about the round like a 9, a 50, or a 40, 45. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about the style of the gun, a revolver versus a semi-automatic. And now, if you are going to go with a revolver, they do have hammerless revolvers. So basically, you wouldn't see this little stem sticking up here. It would just be flush. You see that? You wouldn't see this. It would just be flush. And there would be no accidents with it. You won't accidentally get this grabbed by anything. So a revolver is the way to go if you choose that 5-shot. 5 shots is better than no shot. A shot is better than no shots. So once again, we ain't speaking on how many rounds or what kind of round you have. So just know that revolver is excellent weapon of choice. Definitely is. It's just some do's and some don'ts with them. You know, you got to be careful with a revolver. Everybody can't carry these. They get snagged. And some people move so fast when they tucking and moving it. And if it gets snagged, boom, that round is going off. But this is a solid steel, no polymer, none of that like you have on your semi-automatics. And you have some all steel frame firearms, okay? Like the Desert Eagle and stuff like that. So there you go. That is my take on the revolver. Will I carry a revolver? Yes, I have a revolver. I carry this depending on what mood I'm in, depending on what I'm wearing. I'll have the revolver. But don't get me wrong, the revolver is not just a backup gun, but I do have this with me at times. Not all the time, but sometimes I do have it. Sometimes I'll go out and I'll just take this because it's light. You know, when I put it on a holster, it's there. I know it's there. It's not a light frame. It got a little weight to it. I want to say probably 2.5 pounds. Yeah, maybe 2.5 pounds. Not bad. But it is an awesome gun, built on sight. The rear, no sight on the rear, but it has a rail groove, so sight groove, so you can see your sight on the end. But this is a great gun, y'all. Like I said, 5-shot, beautiful, beautiful piece. Cylinder releases right here. Push on that, release the cylinder, put your ammo in, and then a lot of people don't know with revolvers, when you push on this here, you eject the rounds. You see that right here? You see the teeth moving? It ejects the shells. And you dump them out, put your new ones in, or you could use a speed loader. I got a speed loader, but I don't care for the speed loader. I like to pop them in. All right. But this is the revolver. All right. A revolver is a good piece. I'll slow-mo that for y'all. Yes, she's got some wear and tear on her, but all guns are supposed to have some wear and tear, unless you collected them, you know. But all my guns serve a purpose. They are to protect me, hands down. That's it. Not for show, not for put on a shelf. No weapon is to be put on a shelf unless you got an antique and what's his name, John Wayne gave it to you. All right. So there you go. That is a revolver. Now let's go on over to the semi-automatic handgun. Okay, but we're just going to be showing y'all with the Taurus G2C. All right. Now with the Taurus G2C, we all know polymer frame, metal, polymer bottom. This here is a 12-shot plus 1, that makes 13. It has a slide release, and the breakdown lever. And on the back, you have your safety. So here's your slide lock. All right, and you have a safety on this firearm. So up is safe, down is there. Up, safe, down is off. All right, and it's easy to be broke down, pulled down. We'll do that breakdown another time where you can take it apart and you can clean it properly. So once again, I'm gonna be speaking on what do I prefer. Once again, I prefer either one. It doesn't matter to me, but like I said, for somebody that's starting out with a gun, most people say get a revolver. I hear a lot of people say get a revolver, and I thought about that. Yeah, revolver is simple. Drop them in, boom, boom, boom. But things can go sideways with a revolver way before they can with a semi-automatic. Is a revolver reliable? Absolutely. When you pull that cylinder, go around, line up, boom, round is going out. Semi-automatic takes a magazine. I already showed you that it wasn't loaded, so here she is with the magazine in her. All right, now, this here, 12 plus 1, once you rack this back, it's a round in there. Semi-automatic, meaning you ain't gonna get none of that. Brrr. This is boom, 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 boom. And it's gonna throw a shell out, put a new one in. Throw a shell out, put a new one in. Throw a shell out until it's empty. And when it's empty, the slide will stay back in this position here. This is how you know your firearm is empty. All right, but always check the barrel to make sure that there's nothing in that barrel. So the semi-automatic is amazing to have because it's simple. Rack it back, you good to go. You gotta load your magazine up, put your rounds in your magazine. All right, put your rounds in your magazine, put your magazine up in there, rack it back, boom, 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 let it go. So honestly, my first choice for anybody that don't know nothing about firearms, don't get a revolver. Revolvers are awesome. I'm not saying they're for the best or for the pros, but they're for people that do know that things happen with a revolver. Unless you get, like I said, unless you get a hammerless revolver. So with this here, the only mistakes you're going to get with this is if you touch the trigger. All right. A lot of your polymer frames got that little half trigger that's sits right on top. That's another safety feature with the gun. A lot of guns have a lot of safety features. So there's 2 safety features on this. Will I say this is effective? Absolutely not. Not even on a Glock. I don't care. The trigger safeties are not effective. The manual safety, yes, they're more effective than the trigger. Absolutely. We ain't gonna get into that. Y'all use your head. You understand it. That right there, to pull this whole thing all together, you got to touch it. So you're going to already take the safety off of that. So the trigger's already going to be in effect. But with here, there will be no, it got caught, so it was going in the battery. No. Boom, boom, battery is already ready. Just don't touch this. Keep safety on. Some guns, some polymer guns don't have a safety. So y'all see that safety? It's the slide lock, it's the safety. This is the slide. So once you rack this back, see the serrations in here? This helps you pull this back, all right? But this here is comfortable. It's got a finger groove, lay your pointer finger in, keep your finger off the trigger. But there's a finger groove there. So this is pretty sweet. Can't go wrong with it. It's beautiful. And once again, so the sights on here are great. You can adjust the sights on this. Some guns you cannot adjust the sights. So you can adjust the sights on here, all right? This one has a round loader indicator. So you have the load indicator right here when this is raised, all right? So y'all see this here? See this black strip here? It even says it on there. So when this is raised up, there you go. So you'll see a black strip sticking up. It's around in there and it's ready to go. All right. And if you don't see that on the side here, see that other strip there? If you look, see the strip. Now, if I turn it this way or this way, you can see that it would raise up. That would be raised up. If this failed and this wasn't raised, you can also see this here be raised. And you know that there is a round in there. All right. But this is comfortable. Easy to handle, very easy to handle. Maybe a little, depending on the gun you got. We just talking about polymer guns, the polymer frame and the metal gun, or just semi-automatics altogether. They are easy to handle, and to handle them effectively and safely than opposed to a revolver. And like I said, simply because of this. Now, some people can perfect this. I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about them people that know nothing about them, but they like them and they want one. Train with it. If you want that, go for it. Just train with it. Practice holstering it with no rounds. And you can buy dummy rounds or just plastic caps. Marker fan salute. You got them dummy rounds. Them dummy rounds is pretty cool. I like them. Snap caps. So you pretty much would put your dummy rounds in and you would just practice holstering that, pulling it out, holstering it, pulling it out. However you carry your gun, you got to lift the shirt up, pull it out, draw. You good. Lift your shirt up, draw. Some people lift up, and like I said, they get it snagged, and then boom, the round go off. So I recommend getting a hammerless revolver. But if you really want you a revolver with a hammer, get it, but practice with it before you carry it, because that can make a difference between life and death with you. If you in a self-defense situation and you pull that out and your intention is to protect yourself, but you end up shooting yourself before you even get a shot off on anybody just by raising it up out of there. So here you go. This here is the revolver. This here is the semi-automatic. All right. I can say which one is beautiful to me, but to you it's different. To me, they're both beautiful. I love both style. Both style, I love them both. See that? Amazing. always, and you know what? The Revolver is the original. I love the Revolver. Okay, so the Revolver is awesome. And like I said, just if you're going to get a revolver, practice with it. Don't let nobody tell you, don't get a revolver, don't get a revolver. I'm not going to sit there and tell you don't get a revolver. I'm just telling you, you got to be careful with them because they can get snagged. And you can drop them on the hammer. Boom, it's going on. You could be running. You could be jogging and you got your gun in your holster. You know what I'm saying? You jogging, you got your gun in your holster, you're having a beautiful day. It could turn up to be a bad day because your gun fell down and it landed on the hammer. What's it going to do? It's going to hit that round. But this is a great weapon, a revolver. This right here, a lot safer than the Revolver. You know, some guns have drop safeties. You could drop one of these and they can go off, depending on the maker. Now, that's another thing. Look into that, people. Ask your local gun store, is there a drop safety in some of these guns? Now, Glock's got a drop safety in them. So if you was to end up dropping that gun and you got that gun racked back, police officers got their guns ready to go. There's always one in the chamber with a police officer. They don't have time to pull out if you already shooting. And then so you're going to, if you drop this, it's not going to go off, depending on the gun you got, because I've heard a Sig Sauer, it happened with one of them, and there's a few others out there that was dropped and they discharged. So look into that. But this here, amazing. Polymer frame guns, semi-automatic guns are great to have. They're simple. Put your rounds in your magazine, which this is your magazine. So with your rounds in your magazine, rack your gun back, you're ready to go. Put your safety on, holster your gun. And if it ain't got a holster, no big deal, because not all guns got a manual safety. Put it in your holster. When you pull up out of your holster, there's no snags. There's nothing going to grab. But be careful, because depending on the holsters that you use, you can, you know, them holsters that when you stick them in, like them duty holsters, you put them in and it clicks. You can hit the button on the side, pull it up, and you can accidentally hit the trigger. And I've seen some cases where some people pushed them down in the holster and it pulled the trigger. So when this button, so when they're putting this down in there, something grabbed and it pulled the trigger and the gun went off. So with these, this is a lot safer. You rarely would see that, but it does happen. This is a great gun to have. It's really simple. A semi-automatic. So when you go to the store, you want a revolver or a semi-automatic? I want a semi-automatic. But if you hell-bent on getting a revolver, get one. Because they are great and a lot of fun to shoot at the shooting range. These are a lot of fun to shoot at the shooting range as well. You know, you got 5-8 shots with some revolvers. But this is great. Semi-automatics are a lot of fun to shoot. And that's all I can say, y'all, right now. This is great to have for personal protection as well. When you pull this out, it's already racked back. Put the threat down, that's it. Put the threat down. If it's giving it to you, put the threat down. Same with the revolver. Put the threat down and you're good to go. But other than that, semi-automatic, revolver. You be the judge of which one you want. I just told you what can happen with a revolver. Market fan, salute. Eyes, ears, and tactical, salute. You already know. Reppin' CT, you already know. TNT Life, you rarely do your gun content, but you do got some gun content. You popped off some for New Year. Salute to you. And all my 2A gun members, salute. Yoki Stirrup, you already know. I love your content. Ever since I was watching your channel, you always had some great content. And that's it, y'all. So with that being said, everybody stay safe, stay strapped.